Hey, what's it is the 9th of February. As we've been kind of alluding to, we're going to do a little more sports betting discussion on the channel. We're going to get into, we each got one play that we're kind of digging on as of right now. Now it is 1:03 Central Time. So it's, we're 5 hours away from tip. Plenty can change and things like that. It's NBA, so trades and COVID and all sorts of good things.
Yeah, we expect it every day, and I'm sure we'll get more.
All right, before we get into what our plays are for the day, as we mentioned before, we are currently partnered with Jazz Sportsbook, and we would encourage you guys all to give them a whirl. So far, nothing but good things over here. We've had a couple of extended conversation with some of the powers that be over there. We really like everything they've had to say, and a few of our customers have signed up and are working with them. They said the customer service has been fantastic, which is what I like to hear. If you want to join, we would appreciate using our promo code for a little bit extra. Just go into promo code and just type in 5-pack just like that. Please let me know if you do so, and I will give you a free month of the 5-pack. No charge. All you got to do is use our promotional code, and we will roll from there. I'll let you go first. Kick it off, my man. What you looking at today?
So, got a bunch of games on the slate tonight. We're really only talking NBA on these videos because I know you're not a college hoops or college sports fan at all. So, as far as NBA goes, my favorite game is going to be the late night hammer. I
Okay.
like Orlando in this spot. Now, it's hard to ever love Orlando and want to put
Fair.
your life savings on them because they're not a very good basketball team. I just really like the spot for them against a banged up Portland team that's also not playing very well. You got a Portland team coming home from a long East Coast road trip. They're 6-point favorites at home against Orlando. I just see this game being I see this game being very close. I think Orlando has a good shot to win this game. So I like them +6, and I like them with the money line. I like them on the money line, excuse me. Again, I think these teams, Portland is probably the slightly better team, but just a bad situational spot for them. And I think that Orlando can get the job done here. I don't know. What's your take on that game?
I don't have a real strong inkling one way or the other, and I think it comes back down to the point you talked about. Both of these teams are banged up. I could see this game working out in a variety of ways. I could definitely see the Magic winning this game. I like the fact that they're coming off. They played poorly against Chicago. I typically like teams in bounce back situations like that, especially if they're two relatively even teams. You're right. Portland's probably a little bit better. I know you always dig on teams coming back from long road trips. It's something that you've used to your success a lot, so I understand that. I don't have a very strong feeling one way or the other on that one. But I could definitely see the Magic playing well here. I like the fact that they played poorly against the Bulls the other night, like real poorly, and then kind of getting together. That a couple days off, probably had an opportunity to actually get a little practice in as well.
Definitely. It's more of a play against Portland than on Orlando. Like
Okay.
I'm playing Orlando. That's the side I'm playing, but it's mostly against Portland. Like I don't think that Portland deserves to be a 6-point favorite to basically anyone right now, much less, the first game back from a long road trip. Yeah,
Maybe the
obviously,
Timberwolves.
yeah, for sure. There's a couple teams where I could see it. The Timberwolves, no doubt, but the Magic aren't that bad. The Magic aren't good, and they are beat up. Again, it's not like my favorite bet of the year or anything like that. I just like it a lot compared to the others tonight.
I actually meant to ask you this question a couple of days ago. For somebody who's been doing this for a long time, do you try to make all your bets for similar amounts, or when you got one that you loved, you go super aggressive on it?
Uh, I usually the latter. So, I try not to make it like so much of a difference. But yeah, if I have spots that I love or a spot that I've like is in the NFL that's like a week out, that I've had circled, yeah, I definitely will stagger my wagers. Not
Okay, so
dramatically, but a little bit.
I was wondering that because I played some, I've been dabbling in some NBA bets lately, and I loved Milwaukee to cover the second half spread against Cleveland in the first game of the back to back because they played like just complete and utter ball sack in the first half, and I expected them to play really, really well. And no, I take it back. It was game two. I saw them do the same thing game one, and I'm like, you know what? They played very lackluster again in the first half, and I expected them to come lay the hammer. But I made the exact same dollar amount bet on that one, even though it was by far the most confident bet I had of the night. And so I was wondering what the strategic standpoint was that from the like not long-term experienced sports bettors were.
For sure.
So okay, for me, I actually looked through this for a while this morning. I like the under in the Pelicans Rockets game for the first quarter. It was 58. It's now 57 and a half. which means I don't like it quite as much as I did earlier, but it's not a substantial difference, right? Unless we end at exactly 58 points. It's not a monster difference. And what I like about this is a few things. So I don't know, I think it was about 10 to 14 days ago, I was watching a lot of NBA and League Pass that day. And one of the announcers, and I forget what game it was, and noted that there was a lot of really lackluster and poor performances by teams in first quarters this year, specifically when they didn't play the night before. And for him, he attested to the fact that there's not a lot of practicing this year. These teams aren't allowed to warm up like they used to due to COVID protocols, and that you've seen teams start slow a lot. Well, I looked into these Rock and Pelicans game quite a bit, and while I think the game might have a decent total at the end of it, I don't really expect it to come out like gangbusters today in the first quarter for a variety of reasons. One, New Orleans is a team that we've kind of watched back and forth throughout the season play good defense and then bad, and they were bad for a while. But the last few games, their defense has been improved. And, they do have some decent defensive pieces with Eric Bledsoe and Lonzo Ball, Steven Adams, et cetera, et cetera. And I've liked what I've seen from them from a defensive side of things over the last few games, and I think they can carry that into tonight. The Rockets, meanwhile, have specifically struggled offensively over the past 4 or 5 games, ever since they rolled on OKC. And I think a big part of that is the fact that they're not playing with a lot of continuity right now. They got a lot of moving pieces. They lost Christian Wood. Eric Gordon and Depot and John Wall aren't playing together at all, so a lot of their best players aren't in there. We have no Victor Oladipo tonight. And my gut feeling is that even though they played last night, they played with a completely different team. So often I like teams on back-to-backs to play well. They'll open the game and then get tired in the third quarter. Well, while they played last night, they played with Victor Oladipo. They didn't play with Eric Gordon and John Wall. These are brand new guys. Also, John Wall often only plays half the first quarter. So their best player on the Rockets may not necessarily be in there for a longer period of time. So I like this game to be a little slow and staggered in the first portion of the first quarter, and I like the under in the first quarter.
I like that really, really specific call. I know you had mentioned earlier today you liked the New Orleans-Houston game, and I was wondering where you were going with it. Now, so I don't take it that it has anything to do with like the number specifically. It's just that you expect these teams to kind of start off slow here, and I like that call a lot. I mean, I got no arguments against that at all. Not something I was even looking at. I hardly ever place first quarter wagers at all, so not even something I am familiar with too much. I dig it.
Ever since we talked about, we went to the Wayback Machine a couple days ago and talked about the Golden State Warriors, how they play in the third quarter when they're lackluster in the first half. I've been pounding third quarter good teams a lot of the time, or second halves when they play bad in the first half to get it together, at halftime, make the proper adjustments and stuff like that. And it's just something I've been looking at really closely since we started talking a lot more sports betting about some of these in-game bets or just first quarter bets. Also, the Pelicans, another thing I didn't bring up, they've been off for a couple of days now. Teams will start slow offensively after a couple of days off. And I like them to maybe get just a slower start in this game right here. So, again, at the end of the day, I'm not talking game total for the full game because I think these teams will get better as the game progresses. But for today, I like them to start a little slow. Anything can happen in the NBA. If both teams shoot 75% from three in the first quarter, I'm dead in the water on this one. But for this game, I like a slower first quarter.
I like it. I respect it. I like it.
All right, guys, that's it. We'll keep it tight. We'll keep it shorter on these. I know we talk for a long time in some of these other videos that we do, but we'll keep it tighter on the sports betting stuff. Good luck tonight.
Thanks, guys.